10 perennials you can sow in mid-October. Easy seeds for a stunning spring garden. Hey friends, welcome back to GreenSpace Inspirations, the place where plant lovers, home gardeners, and dreamers of green spaces come to breathe, learn, and grow together. If you're someone who feels happiest when your hands are in the soil, who finds peace in the quiet company of leaves, or who loves turning an ordinary corner of your home into a living, breathing sanctuary, this video was made for you. Most people think October is when gardening ends. But what if I told you it's actually when real gardeners begin? While the rest of the world is raking leaves and saying goodbye to summer blooms, you, the quiet nurturer, have the chance to plant something extraordinary. Because mid-October is nature's hidden window, the secret time when seeds rest, dream, and prepare to bloom stronger than ever by spring. And today, I'll show you 10 perennials that thrive when sown now. Easy, resilient, and designed to reward your patience with color and life next year. So, grab your cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's step into the quiet magic of autumn gardening together. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe to join our growing family of garden lovers here at GreenSpace Inspirations. Part 1. Why mid-October is the secret season for gardeners. There's a quiet moment in every gardener's year, that in-between space after summer fades, but before winter fully arrives. It's a time most people overlook, yet it holds one of nature's most powerful secrets. Mid-October may seem calm on the surface, but beneath the soil, life is quietly preparing for a masterpiece. You see, when the air cools and the days grow shorter, the soil is still warm enough to cradle new seeds. Rain comes more gently now, keeping the earth moist without drowning it. The rush of insects slows down, weeds retreat, and nature herself starts to slow her heartbeat, which means it's the perfect time for roots to dig deep and grow strong before the freeze. While spring planting is all about color and quick reward, fall planting is about faith. It's about trusting what you can't yet see, believing that every seed you place today will awaken in a few short months, bursting with energy the moment sunlight returns. For those of you watching who love effortless gardening, this season is your quiet advantage. You don't have to fight the heat, chase pests, or water every day. You simply plant once, let the soil rest, and nature does the nurturing for you. So as others pack away their trowels and call it a year, remember this. Mid-October is not the end of your gardening story. It's the chapter where next spring's beauty begins. And in just a moment, we'll explore the 10 perennials that make this season truly magical. Part 2. The perennials that sleep now and shine later. Now that we understand why October is such a powerful month for gardeners, let's meet the true stars of this quiet season. The perennials that rest beneath the soil only to rise stronger, brighter, and more beautiful when spring returns. Each one carries its own story, its own rhythm, and its own promise of effortless beauty for the year ahead. 1. Hardy geranium, Roseanne, the tireless performer. If there's one flower that never seems to run out of energy, it's the hardy geranium, Roseanne. She's the kind of perennial every gardener dreams of, blooming endlessly, forgiving neglect, and filling your garden with violet-blue waves that seem to glow from within. Unlike most geraniums that need constant deadheading, Roseanne quietly takes care of herself, dropping spent flowers and pushing out fresh ones all season long. Planted in mid-October, she settles in through winter, sending her roots deep into the cool earth. By spring, she's ready to explode in color, stronger and fuller than any plant started later. Whether you grow her along borders, in containers, or trailing from raised beds, Roseanne rewards you with over 100 days of continuous bloom. And when summer heat makes other flowers fade, she keeps smiling. For anyone who loves gardening but doesn't have endless hours to spare, this is your kind of plant. Resilient, self-renewing, and radiant without asking for much. A little sunlight, decent soil, and she'll do the rest. 2. Echinacea, white swan. The garden's healer. Among the many faces of coneflowers, white swan stands apart. Calm, elegant, and quietly powerful. Her creamy white petals radiate around a golden heart, bringing a sense of peace and balance to any garden she graces. While her purple cousins steal the spotlight, white swan is the healer, both for your garden and your spirit. Sowing her seeds in mid-October allows nature to give her the gentle chill she needs to awaken by spring. As winter passes, her roots strengthen beneath the frost, preparing to bloom early and boldly once the sun returns. And when she does, she doesn't just bloom for you. She invites life back into your garden. Goldfinches adore her seed heads, bees hum around her, and butterflies drift in to rest upon her petals. White swan thrives on simplicity, full sun, well-drained soil, and a gardener's quiet faith leave her seed heads standing through winter. They glimmer with frost, feed the birds, and remind you that even in stillness, your garden is alive. 3. Sedum Autumn Joy, the shapeshifter. If your garden ever feels dull after summer ends, Sedum Autumn Joy is the cure. This perennial is a master of transformation, a plant that changes its outfit with every season. In early spring, it emerges as tidy green rosettes, neat and hopeful. By midsummer, it thickens into lush, succulent mounds, and when autumn arrives, those clusters burst into deep pink, then fade gracefully to copper and rust as frost kisses the petals. Sowing Autumn Joy in mid-October gives its roots a head start before winter's chill. Once established, it asks for almost nothing in return. No fertilizer, no fuss, just well-drained soil and a bit of sunlight. It thrives where other plants struggle. Dry corners, gravel beds, even neglected pots on the patio. And here's the quiet gift. When you leave the dried seed heads standing, they feed birds all winter long, creating soft silhouettes dusted with snow. It's beauty that doesn't quit, a plant that proves even in the coldest months, your garden can still feel alive and full of joy. 4. Coral bells, obsidian. The midnight drama. There's something undeniably magnetic about coral bells, obsidian. While most plants fade into the background when flowers aren't blooming, this one commands attention every single day of the year. Its leaves are so dark they appear to hold a piece of the night. Rich burgundy, almost black, with a glossy sheen that deepens under sunlight. It's the kind of plant that turns heads without saying a word. Sown or planted in mid-October, obsidian uses the cool months to anchor its roots firmly before spring's rush. When paired with lighter companions, silver lamb's ear, lime green hostas, or pale daisies, it becomes a living contrast, an artist's brushstroke of mystery in your garden design. And for those who garden on patios or balconies, it's a showstopper in pots, too. This perennial thrives in zones 4 through 9, handling both heat and humidity like a champion. Just remember one rule: never bury its crown. Coral bells love breathing space. Give it that, and it will reward you with rich color, elegant form, and a whisper of drama that your garden will never forget. 5. Japanese painted fern, the shade whisperer. If your garden has a quiet, shady corner that feels forgotten, the Japanese painted fern is ready to bring it to life. This plant doesn't need the spotlight. It creates its own kind of magic in the shadows. Its fronds are delicately brushed with shades of silver, green, and soft burgundy, shimmering like frost under morning light. It's less a plant and more a living watercolor painting that changes with the day. Sowing or planting it in mid-October allows the fern to root deeply through the cool months, preparing to unfurl gracefully once spring arrives. Unlike many ferns, it's perfectly content in partial shade and moist, well-drained soil. Pair it with hostas, coral bells, or astilbes, and you'll create a tapestry of texture and color that thrives long after other plants fade. And here's the beautiful truth. This fern doesn't need flowers to be stunning. It proves that subtlety can outshine brilliance, that calm can be powerful. For gardeners who crave serenity, balance, and quiet beauty, the Japanese painted fern is nature's whisper saying, "You don't have to be loud to be unforgettable." 6. Lamb's ear, big ears. The child's favorite. There's a softness to lamb's ear big ears that no camera can truly capture. You have to feel it. The broad, velvety leaves are covered in silvery fuzz that catches light like moonbeams, glowing softly in the evening garden. Children can't resist touching it, and even adults find themselves running a hand across its surface, amazed that something so gentle could thrive outdoors. Planting it in mid-October is a quiet act of wisdom. The cooler soil helps its roots settle without stress, readying the plant to spread in spring with calm determination. Once established, Big Ears asks for very little, just sunshine and excellent drainage. It absolutely hates soggy soil, preferring dry feet and open air. In summer, when the tall flower spikes appear, you can snip them back to keep the foliage neat and luminous. And here's a secret. Under moonlight, this plant seems to glow, reflecting silvery light that gives your garden an almost magical nighttime shimmer. For family gardens, sensory corners, or cozy patios, Big Ears is pure, touchable joy. A reminder that nature was meant to be felt. 7. Lupine Gallery Mix. The dreamer's choice. If there were ever a flower that feels like a fairy tale come to life, it's the lupine gallery mix. Towering spires of color rise like candle flames, violet, rose, yellow, and ivory, painting your garden with the charm of an old English cottage. There's something deeply nostalgic about it, as if it belongs to a simpler, more romantic time. Sowing lupine seeds in mid-October is perfect because they need a touch of winter cold to break dormancy. That chill is nature's way of waking them gently when spring arrives. By the time the warmth returns, their strong roots are ready to send up those dramatic blooms that attract bees, butterflies, and admiring glances from every visitor. Beyond their beauty, lupines are soil healers. They fix nitrogen, enriching the earth for other plants. They thrive in full sun with well-drained soil, rewarding patience with show-stopping color. For gardeners who love bold, meaningful blossoms, the ones that tell a story, Gallery Mix isn't just a plant, it's a promise that every dream you plant in autumn will rise in its own season of light. 8. Gora Whirling Butterflies. The Dancer in the Wind. Few plants move with such grace as Gora Whirling Butterflies. Its slender stems sway with every breath of air, carrying delicate white and pink blooms that flutter like tiny wings. Even the slightest breeze makes it come alive, transforming an ordinary garden into a living dance. It's wild, free, and effortlessly elegant, perfect for those who love a touch of untamed beauty in their space. When sown in mid-October, Gora spends the cold months quietly building strength beneath the soil. By spring, it bursts upward, ready to sway and bloom from early summer straight into fall. It thrives where others struggle, dry, sandy, or poor soils. And once established, it's incredibly drought-tolerant. Gora isn't the plant you control, it's the one you let express itself. It softens borders, fills gaps, and brings motion to still gardens. Watching it dance is like watching freedom itself. A reminder that nature's beauty doesn't need to be perfect to be breathtaking. For gardeners who prefer effortless charm over precision, this dancer in the wind will steal your heart. 9. Shasta Daisy Becky. The optimists flower bright, bold, and full of cheer. Shasta Daisy Becky is the kind of flower that greets every sunrise as if it's her first. Her crisp white petals and golden centers beam with optimism, standing tall even through summer storms. There's something refreshingly honest about daisies. They never pretend to be more than what they are. Pure joy made visible. Sowing or planting Becky in mid-October gives her the time to grow strong beneath the surface, preparing to bloom early and abundantly once the weather warms. She loves full sun, appreciates well-drained soil, and rewards even beginner gardeners with effortless success. What makes her truly special is endurance. She holds her blooms longer than most, often flowering well into late summer when others have faded. A simple bouquet of these cheerful blooms can brighten an entire room, reminding us that hope and resilience are their own kind of beauty. For those who see gardening as therapy for the soul, Becky is your living affirmation. No matter the season, there's always a reason to bloom. 10. Coreopsis, early sunrise. The morning light. If your garden ever feels like it needs a spark of sunshine, Coreopsis, early sunrise, delivers it with effortless grace. Its golden yellow blooms open with the first light of day, brightening borders and pots long before most flowers wake. It's cheerful, warm, and full of life. The kind of plant that instantly lifts your mood, no matter how gray the sky looks. Sowing its seeds in mid-October is like bottling sunlight for next spring. Through winter, the roots quietly prepare, and when the seasons shift, Coreopsis greets you with a burst of color that seems to glow from within. It's a magnet for bees and butterflies, yet surprisingly low maintenance, thriving even in poor soil as long as it drains well. Early sunrise lives up to its name. It's often the first to bloom and one of the last to fade, painting your garden in gold for months on end. For gardeners who crave easy joy and lasting color, this perennial is a small piece of sunshine that reminds you, even after the darkest winter, light always returns. Part 3. Smart Planting Secrets for a Thriving Spring. Now that you've met these 10 incredible perennials, let's talk about how to give them the best possible start. Because even the strongest seeds need a little guidance. And what you do in these first few weeks of autumn will shape how vibrant your garden becomes next spring. The secret begins with the soil. By mid-October, the earth is still warm enough for roots to settle in, yet cool enough to prevent stress. Gently loosen the top layer of soil, remove weeds, and mix in a handful of compost if you can. For fine seeds, press them lightly into the soil instead of burying them. Nature doesn't hide her best work too deep. If your area gets windy, cover them with a soft layer of fallen leaves or straw. It's nature's blanket, keeping them protected while letting moisture breathe through. When it comes to watering, less is more. Give your newly sown spots a deep drink once, then let the rain and cool air do their job. Overwatering in fall can rot roots before they ever wake. And resist the urge to fertilize. Now is the time for root building, not leafy growth. Mark each spot with a simple tag or stone. By spring, it's easy to forget where your future beauty sleeps. These little acts, the gentle press of soil, the patient wait, the quiet trust, are what separate gardeners who chase blooms from those who create them. Because a thriving spring doesn't start in sunshine. It starts in the stillness of autumn care. Part 4. The gardener's mindset in the digital age. In a world that never seems to slow down, gardening in mid-October feels like rebellion, a quiet act of patience in an age of instant results. We scroll, we rush, we measure progress in hours. But the garden? It still measures in seasons. It reminds us that beauty can't be rushed, and growth doesn't need to shout to be real. If you've ever found peace in watering your plants, or comfort in seeing a new bud appear, you already understand this truth. Gardening isn't just about plants, it's about healing. It's about remembering that life unfolds in layers, roots before blossoms, silence before song. When you plant in autumn, you're not chasing quick results, you're building something lasting. So as you tuck each seed beneath the soil, take a moment to breathe. Imagine what it will look like when spring returns, how those quiet corners will burst into color. how the same hands that planted in chill will harvest joy in warmth. Maybe your garden, like you, just needs a season of rest before it blooms again. And that's okay, because the gardener's heart is never in a hurry. It trusts time, believes in growth, and knows that everything beautiful begins unseen. Plant once, bloom forever. So here we are, standing at the quiet edge of autumn, where endings and beginnings meet. You've seen how mid-October isn't a farewell to gardening, but an invitation to something deeper. The soil is ready, the air is calm, and your future garden is waiting beneath the surface, dreaming in silence. Each seed you plant now, whether it's the joyful daisy, the glowing coreopsis, or the soft lamb's ear, carries a promise that beauty will return, that your patience will bloom, and that your garden will thank you with colors brighter and roots stronger than ever before. And maybe that's the real lesson of gardening. It's not about perfection or control, it's about partnership between you and nature, between now and what's yet to come. So before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What are you sowing this October? Which perennial caught your eye today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might inspire another gardener somewhere in the world. And if this video brought you a bit of peace, hope, or motivation, don't forget to hit subscribe, give it a like, and join our growing family here at GreenSpace Inspirations, where we plant not just gardens, but a little more joy in every season.